Hi, Ryan Rampton here again. So this morning I want to talk about part 2 of things I learned in heaven. So I went to church today and the speaker was going on about some things that triggered me, and I thought, wait a second, those are limiting beliefs or not actually 100% true, how we picture God and how we think about God. So the first was I came down to earth to prove to God that I would follow him and be righteous. So the thing I learned about God was that he knows everything. He's Alpha to Omega. He knows the beginning to the end. How am I going to prove anything to him? How am I going to do anything that's ever going to surprise him or anything that's going to disappoint him? I'm not. What I came down to this earth to prove was to myself. I came down to learn about me. I came down to find out how I would respond under opposition. So the second thing was to be converted, I need, number one, a knowledge of God. And I also say that's also not quite, that's a limiting belief in the fact that what we came down here and how we get converted unto God is developing a relationship with him. So getting a knowledge of God can help you develop a relationship with him. But then again, the Pharisees had a very, very good knowledge of the scriptures. And did they have a relationship with God? Did they even recognize the Savior when they saw him? People that were very uneducated knew him and understood him and felt him, but they did not have a knowledge of the scriptures. Okay, so we want to develop a relationship with God. Now, how do we do that? How do we even start? Do we need to attend church and read the scriptures and do all of these things? I say those things are great, but I think the first and foremost thing is even having a desire to know God. So first thing is a desire. The second thing is being humble and feeling that we don't know everything, that we don't have all the answers. Because the problem I see is that we get into here, into our head, into ego, and we want to be right about things. And we want to make sure that we prove our rightness to somebody else, when it's really within our heart. It's really settled within us. The Pharisees were so right about everything. They had a great knowledge of the scriptures, but they weren't humble. Who did Christ teach? Who did he go after? He went after the most humble, the most teachable. So we need to be humble and teachable. We need to feel that presence. We need to want and have a desire. The third thing is we need to pray. Pray ceaselessly. We need to pray night and day. Have a prayer in our heart. Now, if you want to have a relationship with somebody, don't we spend time with them? Don't we do things together? Don't we develop things? Trust? Don't we have a relationship? If you want to have a relationship with God, we need to do the same thing. Have a relationship. It's not somebody far away, clear on the other side, and we're going to learn about him in church, and somebody else is going to tell us how to have that relationship. No, he wants a personal relationship with you. He wants to fill you with his love. He wants you to be filled, and he wants to know you, and you know him. He loves you, and that's what his ultimate goal is not for you to prove how righteous you are, but first by filling your void with his love. Okay, so number 4, we want to talk about trust. Now, a lot of people say that we need to prove to God that we're willing to keep his commandments and do his will so he will trust us. Does that feel right to you? How can we show something to a being that is so omnipotent that he knows Alpha to Omega, knows everything we're ever going to do, knows how everything's going to turn out? How can we ever do anything that would build trust on his side? We can't. He already trusts us. He already loves us. He knows us. Okay? So for us, it's a trust the other way. We need to learn how to trust God. And how do we learn how to trust God? We take one step at a time. We step toward him give him a little bit and say, God, I'm not really sure I even believe in you. I'm not even sure you exist. But I'm going to take a leap, and I'm going to have a desire, and I'm going to be humble, and I'm going to be prayerful, and I'm going to step toward you, and I'm going to say, you know what? I believe in you, and wait for you to do something for me. And then I get this feeling in my soul that burns, and I feel the Spirit, and I'm like, okay, he is there. I do feel something. That's him showing us that we can trust him. He already trusts us. He already loves you. He already has so much faith in you. We need to develop faith in him. Okay, we're actually having a lot of fun making this video. The outtakes you guys can't see because we are laughing so much and really enjoy talking about God. But this is the cool thing. His trust is so amazing for you. It is so beautiful because he does trust you. He believes in you. We need to believe in him. So a lot of people believe in a favor line. This line here separates us. On this side of the line, I'm in God's favor. I'm being righteous. I'm attending church. I'm doing good works. I'm doing all these things. On this side of the line, oh, I'm sinning. Oh, I'm doing bad things. And I'm out of his favor. And you know what? I feel terrible about myself. I have self-loathing. I have self-hatred of myself. I used to do that. I used to stand in front of the mirror and could not look in my own eyes because I hated myself so bad because I was on this side of the line. Because I had certain traits, I had certain things that withheld me from God's love. I believed. I didn't understand God at that time. I believed that I was out of his favor, that I had blown it. That I had completely wasted my life. That many are called and few are chosen. And I was not in his favor. So I'm going to conclude by saying there is not a favor line. There is not a way that we're better than anybody else or worse than anyone else in God's eyes. We are all on our own path of learning. We are all trying our best, doing our best. That's why God says, do not judge. You see a mote in your brother's eye when there's a beam in thine own. So let's not judge anybody else in being in favor of God or being out of favor of God. Let's not judge ourselves on this side of the line or the other either, because God does trust you. You are in his favor. He does love you. And I love you too. I want you to have an amazing day, and next time we'll talk about a few more things I learned in heaven. God bless you.